A question from a viewer. If someone keeps working overtime and not getting paid for it, is there a way to make their employer pay up without them getting terminated? The first important thing to keep in mind when answering this question is this. The practical reality is that when you approach your employer, when you approach your manager and you confront them, even if ever so gently, about any type of legal entitlement or legal issues, such as asking about overtime pay or complaining about possible discrimination or harassment at workplace, there is always a chance that your complaint or the issue you're bringing it up to their attention will rub them the wrong way, and they will want to punish you for it. And even though in many cases this would be considered an unlawful retaliation, and often the employers know that it's illegal to punish an employee for inquiring about their rights, they can still choose to do that. They can choose to write you up for some petty reason or for no reason at all. They can choose to discipline you in other ways, and they can even choose to fire you. And yes, in many cases it would be illegal, but many employers make this practical decision. You know, I don't like that this employee is complaining. I don't like that he's asking about overtime. I'm gonna fire him. If he sues me, I'm gonna deal with it. But that's the practical reality. So what does this mean to you? This means one simple thing. If you're thinking about asking your employer about overtime pay that you believe you haven't been getting, you need to ask yourself whether you are willing to take the risk of being retaliated against. And the answer to this question will depend on many of your personal life circumstances. How much do you like this job otherwise? Can you afford losing a job? Can you afford being disciplined at all? What does your financial situation look like? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have student loans? Do you have credit card bills? Do you have kids in school? How quickly do you think you're going to find a job if your employer decides to fire you for you asking about overtime? For different people, the answers to these questions will be very different. It could range from, I cannot afford not working one day and I love my job and everything has been going great, and you know what, I'm gonna pass on asking about overtime because I just don't want to screw things up, all the way to the other extreme, which is, I hate my job, I hate my boss, I just need an excuse to get out of there, and I know I'm gonna find a job quickly and I could use a vacation anyway, and I don't have many financial obligations, so I'll be fine even if I don't work for several months. And many people will find them somewhere in between. Of course, you should also ask yourself what the culture is like at your workplace and how you think, based on what you know about your boss, about your employer, how you think they're going to handle your concern about not being paid overtime. Will they handle it in a proper, lawful, and mature way? Will they look into it and say, thank you for bringing this to our attention, we'll review and we'll get back to you? Or will they start thinking and acting like, who does this guy think he is, asking about overtime, being so bad and so ungrateful? Regardless, if you decide to ask your employer about overtime or about entitlement to any other benefit that you believe you may have not been getting, the one single thing you can do to reduce the chances of being retaliated against is being nice about it. You don't have to come out and say, you know what, I want this and that, and if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna sue you tomorrow. You can always file claims and you can always sue later. Why not start with a more gentle, more friendly interaction? Hey, Mr. Manager, you know, I heard that if I work over 8 hours a day or over 40 hours a week, I may be entitled to an overtime pay. I don't believe I've been getting it. Can you please take a look at my payroll and see if everything is in line? Why not start like that? And it might just work very well. And if it doesn't, again, you will always have other options of filing claims with Department of Labor, filing lawsuits for unpaid wages or for retaliation if your employer ends up retaliating against you. In other words, there is no downside in starting soft and then going hard if and when you have to. Many people talk about being aggressive about your rights with your employer, and they think there is a benefit in it. I cannot think of too many cases. In fact, right now, I cannot think of one situation in which being aggressive, being confrontational, and being threatening is going to yield better results when discussing with your employer any type of benefits that you believe you're entitled to. Starting in a friendly, in an amicable manner first, and then going from there is almost always the right way to go. Thank you.